Good morning. I myself, Bimalendu Kalita, welcome you all to the webinar on how to apply for research grants, organized by Department of Mathematics, Royal School of Applied and Pure Sciences, Royal Global University. A gentle request to all the participants. Please keep your audio and video mute during the session. Before we start with the webinar, I would like to give a brief introduction about the Royal Global University. The Royal Global University, situated at Guwahati, is a leading university of Northeast India. It caters 27 schools offering 130 plus courses. One of the pillars of Royal Global University is its highly qualified and well-experienced intellectual capital, 250 plus faculties, who also serve as the motivation catalyst for 5,000 plus students. Royal Global University offers a unique educational experience that prepares the next generation of the global citizens to lead and make a difference in the world. Royal Global University is a leading educational hub in the northeastern region that maintains a particular commitment to exceptional undergraduate and postgraduate instructions. Royal Global University strives for academic excellence through research-intensive and industry-oriented education instilled with a strong sense of becoming a global citizen. Now I would like to request Professor Dr. Anuradha Devi Ma'am, Dean Royal Club Applied and Pure Sciences, to give welcome address and share the objective of this webinar.
Okay, thank you, Bimalendu. Today's honorable speaker, Professor Amalesh Mukhopadhyay sir, our emeritus professor, Professor Amrita Barua sir, we have senior professors, Professor Taini Dutta sir, and all the participants, my senior faculty members who have joined here, and all participants who have joined in this webinar. First of all, I just like to share one story with you. I remember in 2013, it was our institute was at that time, it was not a university, it was Royal Group Institute, and we were basic sciences, School of Basic Sciences. So when we were thinking of organizing one seminar, national conference at that time, and we were starting our journey from 2012. It was only 3 years old. So at that time, when we were thinking of holding a national level seminar, we were apprehensive about whether we are going to get any grants or anything like that. But we have applied everywhere, like AICT, we have applied to DST, we have applied National Board, NDXM, and all those agencies we have applied. But in the month of February, we got a letter from DST, and when I received that envelope, I was so happy. And when I opened the letter that we have been given a grant of rupees 3 lakh for holding that conference. The amount is not so much. 3 lakhs is not very much, but the recognition, grants actually means the recognition for that someone is having a faith in you, an authority has competent authority has faith in you. Your research work has been recognized by competent authority. That is the most important thing. Now, many of the our faculties, even our university, are striving for research. We have been doing a lot of good research work recently, and our university is a very new university. It's only started in 2017. So a lot of emphasis has been given on research, and a lot of people are applying for grants, but many of us do not know what are the different types of funding agencies are available, or in accordance to your own research field, or how we are going to write a research proposal, and what are the timeline, what are the deadline we need to submit, what are the formalities. Many times we do not fill up proper format in the proper information we do not submit. Like university, a lot of information are required from the universities or institution side to be fill up. So all these things, with this objective, actually we thought of holding a webinar like this, and I think this webinar will be helpful for all the faculty, all young researchers who like to get some grants, because grants means recognition as well as financial help. Financial help will help you become your free of mind of doing good quality research. So that is the important thing for getting a fund. And with this objective, I'm very happy the Department of Mathematics has organized this webinar, and I'm happy that this will help you. We have invited our eminent speaker who has been in the DST for so long, and I'm so happy that he has which is just a letter of asking, requesting him to come to join this webinar as a speaker. He has given his consent willingly, very nicely. I'm so happy, and thank you so much, sir, that you have with such a short time you have agreed to come and speak to our young faculty and young researchers, so that they can in the near future they can write lot of projects and they can submit to different agencies. And I'm thankful to our Professor Hemanto Borua sir, who has taken that initiative, and he has introduced us to Professor Mukhopadhyay sir, so that we can organize this webinar. And I'm sure this webinar will be very helpful for all the participants. And with this objective, I welcome all of you to this webinar, fruitful webinar, and looking forward to the deliberative speech of our Professor Mukhopadhyay sir. Thank you very much, and welcome you all again to the webinar. Thank you. And over to you, Vimalendu. Now you can continue. Yes.
Share a few words. Sir, please, over to you, sir. Sir?
Vimalendu, sir has joined? I have not seen Burabhurai sir to join. I think Burabhurai sir has not joined. Okay, because he has some other engagement he said to me earlier. So he can continue with the skits. I think sir has not joined, and Basi sir has also not joined. You want to ask Borua sir?
Okay. Borua sir, yes.
You can ask Borua sir. Yeah. Borua sir, can you just give it?
Sir.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Sir, it is audible.
Sir, you are audible, sir.
No, it's all right. I'm audible, but what exactly Vimalendu is going to say, that I could not understand. Because he's not audible properly.
If you share something from your...
Sir, you are requested to share some words.
Oh, you want me to say a few words? Achha. Is that it? Please repeat. Anuradha.
Yes, sir. Please share your, because you are the senior most professor now in our department, sir. Basi sir will join later on, so kindly share a little bit of words of motivation to us, sir.
Okay. Actually, now that we have among us Dr. Mukhopadhyay, we are very, thankful to him. The point is, actually, I know one thing, that he is a very helpful person. He's a very helpful person. I've been in touch with him, I think, since I think 2007 onwards. Actually, we visited almost all universities in the Northeast and so many colleges. I visited actually with him, and then I know that he helps. And now that actually we have his contact number and email ID, etc. So if there's any problem regarding some, application for research grants, obviously he would be able to help. Because, one thing is that I have seen that he knows all kinds of details, starting from price and possibly up to use all kinds of, machines, all kinds of equipments that are used in researches in the universities. So I think even there actually our researchers might ask for his help. So with this only, I'd like to say that the program should start now. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Before I hand over the session to the invited speaker, Dr. A. Mukhopadhyay, I take the opportunity to introduce him, all the participants in this webinar. Dr. Mukhopadhyay was awarded in Fire Science Technology from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He worked in textile industry at Mumbai and petrochemical industry at DRDO for about years after the PhD. Since July 1999, he was working at the Department of Science and Technology and handled various programs at Department of Science and Technology towards promotion of science and technology in the country for about 18 years. Since April 2019, he is associated with the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, for coordinating various research and development activities at the institute. He has published around 25 papers at the national and international journals. He was credited to visit many countries like UK, Korea, USA, etc. for participation in bilateral meetings and discussions. Currently, he is working after science and technology, infrastructure program, and other related programs at PhD. Sir, I would like to request you, sir, to continue with your presentation, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I am audible to all of you. Thank you to Dr. Kalita, Professor Unkada, and my very good friend, Professor Hemant Barua, the other senior faculty members, junior faculty members, and if any students or research scholars are present, I also give them a big thanks for joining in this webinar. It is organized by the Royal Global University at Guwahati. I understand that this university is very new.
Webinar eta dhun lagisile o Krishna etu komti matha pa nai ago.
Requesting all the participants to mute your audios, please. Sorry, sir.
I understand this university is very new, and I know the issues and how they go to a different scale, because I am also associated, apart from IIT Delhi, with two more universities, one in Himachal Pradesh, another in Kolkata, which are very new, and advising them how to go the research, mainly how to do incubation and innovation activities in those universities. In Kolkata, I am associated with Adamas University as a chairman for Center for Research and Innovation, and in Himachal Pradesh, I am associated with Saloni University as a technical advisor to the Vice Chancellor. So with this, I know the problem of a new university like this. So I made my presentations in an order when I got a title from Professor Devi, how to apply the research grant or the research proposal. So it is a format of a question, how to apply. Now, to address this question, how to apply the research grant, can I get the slides, Dr. Kalita?
Okay, sir, I am sharing.
Yeah.
Is it visible, sir?
It's okay. Okay. Just make it full screen. Yeah, that's fine. So the title which I received, how to apply for the research grant or research proposal, I thought it is in a question format, and I appreciate this title which is in a question format. But then, to answer these questions, one need to know a few things like how. Next slide. How, when, and where. Next slide. Next slide, Dr. Kalita.
Yes, sir. Is this?
Next slide.
Good.
Demolindo aha nai tomar next slide kon.
Mujhe aaye sir.
Aha nai tumi. It's not coming, bro, Demolindo. Can you just close down? I can share. Let me see if I can share.
Ma'am, আহিছে কিন্তু ইয়াতে
The next slide খন তো আহা নাই, next slide খন ইয়াতে আমি দেখা নাই কিন্তু।
next slide হয়
Or I can share. Bibalendu,
Yes, sir, please.
you close it.
Stop there.
You close it. I will share.
Okay.
First close it. You
Okay,
first
sir.
close it. You first close it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Close it. Yeah. Let me share. Yeah. All of you are able to see the file?
Yes, sir. It is.
Okay. Okay. What happened? The next slide is not coming.
Joy, can you help?
Dr. Kalita, it is also not sharing from here side, this side.
We have seen your first stage, sir, but we have not been able to see the second slide.
Yeah, first slide is fine. Second slide, I'm just.
Second slide is not coming. Sir, can you do one thing? Can you just, not full screen, but without full screen, maybe we can see. Can you just go back and see if it is? Just remove the full screen and then put in the click in the second slide. Is it all right? Let's see whether it comes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. It is coming, sir.
Yeah, it's coming. It is coming now.
Okay. No, sorry for the interruption and sorry for the disturbance. So when I got the title of this webinar, how to apply the research grant or research proposal, which is in a question format, I find that it's a very good idea to answer these questions. But to answer these questions, one need to know how, where, and when. That means to answer this how, you need to know who are the agencies which sponsors the research projects or proposals. What are those schemes those agencies are implementing? And then when these and then what are the requirements of those agencies or those schemes? The first thing is that any proposal when somebody applying needs to have some kind of novelty in the concept, novelty in the idea. Idea should be novel. The concept should be novel. And a faculty's task is to convert this idea or the concept which is novel in his term, in his format, to convert it into a good proposal which may show the mandate of the scheme where he is targeting for a particular agency. Now, so that's a very critical point. One needs to understand that your idea may be novel, your idea may be very good, but converting it into a proposal is very, very important. And not only the converting into a proposal, you also need to know where this proposal or this idea could be sold, means where you can submit this proposal. Therefore, he or she as a faculty member needs to see various options of the various funding agencies in their schemes and programs. So that's the basic theme of my talk, and I have divided the talk in two steps. First step is giving a brief about the agencies in the country, and then I will discuss how to write a proposal, good in what terms, what is the definition of a goodness. Okay, so just a minute. So I have divided my talk into two stages. One is the giving you the idea about the various schemes, various agencies they implement, and giving some kind of flavor how to write a good proposal and the mechanisms which normally they follow. Towards that, let me first introduce to you that what is the country's system of research funding, which I call them as STEAM system in the India, S&T system in India. Now, if I look the S&T system in India, there are central funding bodies, central S&T departments, there are independent research institutes who does the research, there are in-house private industry which also carry out a major chunk of the research today. Of course, it is basically for their own purposes to serve. We also have various non-governmental organizations in the country who also does a large chunk of research, mainly on the societal aspects. There are departments, S&T departments at the state government. Almost all states have Department of Science and Technology. In some cases, it is attached to the government. Some cases, it is attached to biotechnology, etc., etc. And there are a couple of socio-economic ministries like coal, textile, steel, which does a certain level of research sponsoring activity for their own purposes. Like textiles does the research through their TRAs, coal also does research through the academic institutions, which benefits the coal sector. So it is specific to that sector. So the major funding is some of the central government S&T departments. Let's go little detail about what are the central funding agencies are there in the country today. If you see the major, if I start my own previous department, Department of Science and Technology, then Department of Atomic Energy, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Agriculture Research and Extension, which is a part of the ICAR, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, which also has a very large set of research laboratories under the purview of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Then we have Department of Space, Ministry of Earth Science, Department of Health Research, and also the Council of Medical Research, and then our erstwhile MHRD, now Department of Education and UGC together. So if I see this broader sense of central S&T departments, there are few departments which are exclusively doing research for the extramural purposes. Extramural purpose means that they do not have the mandate to do a specific area. Like if I say the Department of Space or Department of Atomic Energy or Department of Agriculture or Department of Health Research, they have a very narrow canvas to carry out the research. Whereas in case of DST or in case of DVT, they have a very broader canvas to support the research at the academic institutions like this, as well as research laboratories. So the major focus of the extramural research will tell you in terms of figure how it is happening. But broadly, these are our central agencies who sponsors various extramural research support in a different way. Now, I hope there are people or maybe helpful if I just discuss with one slide non-STEM area in our country. Non-STEM area means non-science, non-S&T areas in our country, liberal arts sector, which is a major chunk in the research front of Indian research scenario or academic scenario. Now, be it the mostly supported by MHRD, erstwhile MHRD, or today Ministry of Education and the UGC together, couple of councils they have, Social Science Council, Philosophical Research Council, Historical Research Council, and a few state governments support that liberal arts sector research. So liberal arts sector research is very limited in that sense compared to the science and engineering research sector as a sponsoring bodies, and that is a reason that liberal arts sector struggles more than the S&T sector today in the academic front. Now, I will go back to the S&T sector now, and if I take a figure which I took it from the data bank of the NSTIMS report in the 2019 and 20 report, where it gives a graphical representation about the various agencies and the extramural research funding they do for a given year, 2016 to 2017. In fact, this slide, this graphical representation tells you that how the S&T bodies are funding the extramural research to the country academic institutions. Sorry. Now, if you see in this particular graph, which tells you that the Department of Science and Technology almost provides the research support to the academic institutions to the tune of 63%, followed by DBT around 40%, followed by DRDO around 9.5% of the total AMR support for that given year, which is around 2,454 crore for a given year of 2016 and 17. So you could imagine that 63% means almost 1,535 crore is provided by the Department of Science and Technology to our academic institutions under various programs they implement. Now, this slide helps me to zero in my talk in a larger in the next few slides, because what it tells me that if we concentrate the programs and the schemes for these three agencies, I could cover almost 80 to 85% of the EMR support available for the academic institutions. So I need not to go to other agencies like MNRE, DAE, CSIR, which you can go anyway, but your concentration or your effort should be more focused to on these three agencies. So that helps me to not to go or not to defocus my attention of the presentation to other agencies, which anyway you can do it. But if I could focus my presentation attention in these three agencies, it will be very, very useful for all the participants today. So the next few slides, I will concentrate only these three agencies to a large extent. And the recipient side, I could say that almost 70% of this EMR support goes to the academic sector, means universities and academic institutions like IITs or ISCs, etc. So there is a large scope. It is not that there is no scope. There is a large scope for the academic institutions like universities to receive this grant. But yes, you have to tap the right scheme at the right time. Now, each agency, if I look at it, whether DST or DBT or DRDO or CSIR, they have their own research team, and these are mainly categorized in few classified ways. Almost every agency has their research scheme which are innovation driven, or they call it as a basic research. Then the another thing which they also have solution driven research, which could be individual centric, which could be a consortia based or a group based research scheme. Innovation research, basic research also driven in the form of a individual centric or group based. Then there are some schemes which are meant for translation research, means how the research could be useful for commercialization. So the research mandate is basically towards translation of the knowledge. Then there are schemes which are available to those institutions, to those agencies like DST, DBT, or DRDO to enhance the infrastructure of the institutions as a whole or department as an unit. There are schemes available so that which can be used as a complementary of the individual research to carry out. There are schemes available for many agencies which basically they set up to provide services for the research to carry out. In a community manner, the facilities are set up, and from that set up facilities, the research services are provided. So these are the basic types of category schemes are being implemented or are being floated by the various research organizations. Now, before I go to the agency-wise their research schemes, let me give you this slide so that you all will have a hope that there are funding available, there are allocations available in for performing the research and development by the academic institutions. If you look at the slides, which I tried to put you from the allocations from 9th plan onward, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So there is a enormous increase from 9th plan to 12th plan, which ended in 2017, and then the allocation from 17 to 20 happened on a year-to-year basis, and now from 20 April, the 5-year plan is again being started. So what I tried to say that there is no need to disappointed with the situation that there is no money. There are money, but what we are lacking, at least my experience with the Department of Science and Technology, I could see that there is a lack of good proposals to support. Money is there. So there is no need to disappoint in this front. Of course, this particular year is little difficult year, and I was told from my colleagues of the Department of Science and Technology that there will be some expected reduction in the allocation, which is around 6,000 crore for the current year for the Department of Science and Technology. Now, coming to the agency-wise, the programs or the divisions, what they have, so that might help the young faculty members to take a lead from this, that which one will be useful for his or her purposes. If you see the DST, which is a multi-division or multi-department agency, mostly engaged with the extramural research support, as I said that 63% or 65% money, it goes for extramural support of a particular year allocation. It has different divisions, different departments to which it provides or caters the need for the basic research, technology development program, socio-economic sector, infrastructure, societal needs, and some of the programs they implement on a mission mode, and also they maintain the international cooperation. They scout the stronger countries' research activities and try to infuse into the domestic side. So the international cooperation is also very strong. Now, so all these divisions put together, the DST tries to perform the best of its ability to develop the research culture and to promote the research and technological aspects across the country, which basically towards the institutions and academic universities. Now, if you see that there are a division which is marked as SERC/SERB. You all are aware perhaps that somewhere in 2011, government took a decision that to set up a special autonomous body which will be under the DST, or you can say at the arm's length of DST, to implement the mostly the basic research programs which are individual centric to a large extent. So they set up the Science Engineering Research Board, which is within the ambit of DST and implements independently various programs. Now, coming to the Let me go one by one the agencies now. Let us first see the DST, which was my working place for last nearly 30 years, and I was responsible for this particular aspect greatly, and also one particular program called Inspire. Now leave aside the DST, as I said, in 2011 set up the SERB, which primarily takes care of the individual-centric research for an individual researcher or scientist. I will discuss that later, a few minutes later, but let us now concentrate with DST, its various activities. Let me first concentrate the technology part, but because the basic research is taken care by the SERB almost 100%. The technology front, which is again the individual-centric. Individual-centric means what I wanted to mean here, that any individual faculty member or one or two PI or co-PI can conceive an idea and then convert that idea into a research proposal based on a particular scheme or program. Like AMT stands for Advanced Materials Technology. WMT is Waste Management Technology. Biomedical devices is a device development for biomedical purposes. So suppose you want to develop, say, waste management technology, say plastic waste or e-waste disposal. Let us give an example. E-waste disposal. You have a novel idea how to dispose in a green manner the e-waste what we generate. If you have an idea, you see first the scheme WMT, see its format, see its pro forma, see its requirement, and then you build up that proposal into that format. Similarly, they have also implemented the SHRI, which is basically the Heritage Research Initiative. Electric mobility means electric vehicle. Device development means any small measuring equipment, any equipment which measures any kind of particular parameter. You can use this particular scheme of technology development program. There are a couple of theme-based program DST today implement. Nano mission. Nano mission means it is a nano science and technology you must be aware about. Then solar and water mission. Anything related to the solar technology or solar basic research, this mission will be useful. So if you have an idea on solar related or water related in the sense purification of water, determination of contaminated water condition or pollution level of the water, all these things taken care through this program under solar and water mission. Climate change, then the new program which is almost 3,000 crore cyber physical system. Infrastructure, I will not go into detail because this requires certain level of your exposure, means certain duration you need to spend. This you require to spend 3 to 3 years. First, you are not eligible at this moment. QD, you are not eligible. And SAFE is something like to set up a research services program. This is a fellowship which your students or your new faculty members can look for. SERB Jayanti, which is a very, very prestigious fellowship, science technology fellowship, which is basically the policy related research. If you want to carry out, you can do it. Inspire is another program which is a multi fellowships aspects right from the school to the postdoctoral level, and you can do that using the Inspire. Then the another program which is named as Kiran 2 years before, and what is this Kiran deals today? a bunch of women-centric schemes, exclusive women-centric scheme like WAS A, B, and C, which was running for a long time. Then the mobility of a woman, then the woman part, all these things bunched together and put a new name as Kiran. You can, if you are woman science, if you are a lady and wants to do the research and take the advantage of research, you can use the Kiran scheme, look at the scheme, and then you formulate your concept and proposals accordingly. Now, coming to the basic research, which I said that SERB is a major supporter in this front, they have couple of research programs which they implement, like CRG, Core Research Grant, Startup, which is basically useful for a researcher, 2 years of joining at the institutions of a job as an assistant professor or so. Then they have group research, IRHPA. Shupra is a basically high risk, high gain. Then the empowerment and equity, which is very important for similar to core research, but exclusively for the underprivileged category of the people. Then there is a Women Excellence Award. And if you are a mathematician, then a small grant is provided, maybe 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs grant is provided to initiate your research in the mathematics area. Anyway, mathematics does not need very high grant, but to initiate your research, you can take the advantage of the matrix. Similarly, a couple of fellowship programs are available and implemented by the SERB, like J.C. Bose. One of the major thing is National Postdoctoral Fellowship. That is basically helpful for a doctoral student right after his or her PhD degree awarded. He or she needs some kind of step to hang on for some time and then go for some job. So this NPDF helps them reasonable way to carry out research activity rather than going away from the research. J.C. Bose, Ramanujam, these are little high-end research fellowships. The Prime Minister Doctoral Fellowship is another very good. Any faculty is implementing an industrial problem, he can engage a researcher who gets the fellowship as a government rate, as well as some top-up amount, almost similar amount as a top-up from the industry under this particular Prime Minister Doctoral Fellowship. This is separate than the fellowship which MHRD implements PM Fellowship. Then the users, which is a very old scheme, has now come under SERB for retired scientists to continue their activity in this particular scheme. Then couple of global linkage. In fact, which is more important in your case is Bajra. Bajra is something like you can identify a person outside India and wants to come back, wants to come to your university and do some research for at least 3 months in a year and try to develop a research culture, research group in your university. So you can identify a person outside India, bring him here for 3 months, you will get some scholarship, good amount of scholarship to develop that research activity, research group in your university, and you can use this Bajra scheme of the SERB. The other SNT support, which all of you are aware that they do provide travel support, they do also provide organizing seminars, symposia, either in your university or going abroad to participate in a seminar or symposia. They have recently started a new scheme, Accelerated Began scheme, which is now on. Please see their website, and you can do or you can take the advantage to set up a Began Karyashala or the workshop kind of activity at your place. So look at their website and try to see how much benefit you can take it out of this. Now, coming to the DBT, which is another funding body, and which caters nearly 13% to the extramural research. But the only thing is DBT, Department of Biotechnology, connects only with the biological science researcher to a large extent. But there are, of course, some overlapping area between physics and biology, or biology and mathematics, or engineering and biology, which is very common in today's scenario. We do support in that kind of concept and idea. So broadly, they have classified medical, agriculture, animal, or allied sciences. They also have a scheme, knowledge generation and discovery research, which is almost a basic science. And they also support for any development of new tools or technologies. In terms of capability building, they have a couple of schemes. You can look at it for improving the teaching or training, and various fellowships and various awards. One of the most important programs which DBT offers, especially for the northeastern region, is a problem which is relevant for the northeast, can be pursued along with the institutions outside the northeast. So that program they called twinning program, which is under this R&D program. So you can look at that and you can see how best this can be utilized at your university to get a benefit in this place. So which is, I think, couple of years they're running it, and it is a very successful program today for the DBT called twinning program. I think all of you please see how you can get a benefit out of this. Then in terms of translation, they have a couple of programs setting up a biotech park or incubation center. They also respond to the current call that Make in India or startup. They have a special program for the society or reorientation program and career advancement. In terms of setting up the facilities, the Department of Biotechnology do support various biotech facilities, science cluster, and building the capacity, building the infrastructure under the program called Sahaj. Now, the third major funding body in terms of the NSCMS data is Defense Research Sector, Defense Research Institute, DRDO, and DRDO basically connects with across science engineering researchers. But the support comes from DRDO under four major boards which they organized, and that is called Aeronautical Research and Development Board, Armament Research Board, Life Science Research Board, and Naval Research Board. Out of these four research boards through which they operate the extramural research, I think the aeronautics, armament, and naval are mostly linked with or mostly predominated with the engineering aspect. Some physics guys at times do receive or do make the proposal support from them, but life sciences is a major area which is very, very useful in the university like you, where you can make a proposal for the benefit of the defense research. These are the various research programs which DRDO offers to its four different research boards, and they do support the largely life support, biomedical device, soldier health, drug development. So some of the schemes I tried to put you so that it is not possible me to go each and every scheme to discuss, but yes, some highlights so that I can excite you all to see their website whenever you have a time, leisure time, and you can fix with your idea, you can match with your concept which program would be suitable to apply. That's the basic purpose for me to in this webinar. So besides the three major funding bodies which constitutes almost 80% over, there are other which Education, Department of Education, Union Department of Education or UGC, they do support various research, minor and major through UGC. Education, art science mainly for the geology, geophysics, ocean science, and CSIR do support across all research areas, ICR only for the agricultural research, and ICMR for the medical research, and Ministry of Environment related to the life science, climate, and forest development. And there are many, MNRE, MIT, there are many, but only thing is you need to look at the website, match your idea with the skills that they have, and then apply with that. Now, this gives you perhaps a broad picture about the various funding bodies, their operative schemes, and how you could get advantage. But before taking the schemes, before taking this, first you see that what is your idea, and if your idea is X, and then you can go for matching with Y so that you can have X plus Y at the end of the day in a fruitful manner. Now, let me discuss little bit about the various steps for writing a research proposal, because once you know that various agencies and various options the agencies are making available to the scientists and academic persons, then how you can get the advantage is the next step. As I said, that your idea or your concept needs to convert into a good proposal. Now, what is good? The definition of good is a very, very variable. If it may be good in your sense, it may not be good for the reviewer purposes. So, you need to do certain level of research in terms of the aspects on the novelty of your idea. Now, do some international or domestic research in the idea you are conceiving and see what is the novelty of your idea. Now, if your idea is novel, it could be novel in terms of conceptual, it may be novel in terms of process, it may be novel in terms of product. And when you devise a process or product, it could be either the cost, process cost is cutting down heavily from the existing, or it has better feature in the product. Therefore, this is novel, what you are proposing. So try to identify very clear terms that what is novel in your idea when you are writing a proposal. And if that is identified, that is put forward in a very, very clear terms, I think difficult for anybody to deny the proposals for its support. The second point is that many times we write the proposals which are not in the system. Not in the system in the sense that when you see that, yes, my idea is fitting into, say, biomedical devices, or my idea is fitting into, in terms of basic research, say, physics. So when you write, you write the problem statement in a manner that the agency which announced the scheme for you to apply. Now, there are two types of announcement. One is standard announcement, like SERB's core research support or SRG. SERB is SRG. Like every year they announce, you keep your proposal ready as a basic research. When they announce it, you submit it. Now, when you submit it, you try to write in the order which they ask you to follow in terms of format, and you write in that format so that your proposal is complete. There are some schemes which are announcement based, means in a particular time the scheme is announced with a particular mandate, and you fit into your idea into that mandate and apply. So both things are available by the funding agencies. You have to look for what you are doing and what is the need for that funding agency. Each funding agency, please remember, or each program, please remember, has a particular format. And please also see that when you apply a given time, is the format is same what you are submitting, because many times they change the format from the previous year to the current year, and unknowingly you submit the proposals with the old format and gets rejected because of the wrong format you have used. So this is also a very, very important aspect of the proposal when somebody submits. Now, each scheme, as I said very repeatedly, has a mandate in a different way, like science-based, technology-based, societal-based. The proposer need to develop a proposal choosing that or fitting that mandate so that they could appreciate your concept for that particular theme. Proposals should highlight the relevance of the proposed work packages with respect to the both national and international work already done. So this is very important, that when you do or try to find out the novelty aspect and your work package, you decide to reach the objectives of a particular concept, you please see that it is relevant and it is not done elsewhere in this area. The most important, another most important is today every agency has this problem of handling the plagiarism part. So when you write a proposal, you many times do some portion cut and paste into your proposal. So please be careful that you should not get caught into the issue of the plagiarism, because each agency today passes their proposal through the plagiarism software to check whether this proposal is not copied or some statements are not copied as such, because every plagiarism has its own norms. Secondly, when you use any photograph or any image or any data, any statement, any figure, you should not forget to say the source of that information, either image or data or figure used in the proposal, because then it is considered as a plagiarism. Many times the proposal gets eliminated due to the reason of mismatch between the budget you propose and the work package you said in earlier paragraph, because the equipment you need may not match for the work package you have proposed earlier. So careful. The second careful you need to do that equipment cost need to be realistic. It should not be very low or it should not be very high. That gives you an understanding that the proposer is not aware about that particular equipment or the research area, and all this gives you a negative thing. Justifications shall be commensurate with the previous activities and exposure of the proposal. Means whatever justifications you give in terms of budget should have the activities you have already done. Because since the major problem happens, where the major problem happens to break a first proposal. That's the major problem. And young researcher struggles, write proposals every time, and this is a rejection from the funding body. The first break is very important. So the first break requires a lot of struggle and a lot of careful from the proposer's side how to do that. There may be some inhibition from the people today that the private agencies are not being supported to that extent. Public institutions or major institutions are being supported. I don't see that is a very, very strong argument. What is required that a proposal with good concept, good write-up, always gets supported, whether it is from private or whether it is from public institutions. Because the success rate today is almost 10 to 11%. It has come down from 33% 5 years before, and last 2 years it is 10 to 12% success rate. So within this success rate, if you have to survive, you have to be very, very competitive. There is no question of one small mistake or one small error in your proposal. It gets eliminated immediately, whether you belong to private or public institution. Because earlier it was 33%, lots of schemes have come, funding has not made to that level to cater this. And secondly, lot of institutions has also come around in the last few years. Therefore, the success rate has reduced from 30%, 35% to 15% at the most in almost all the cases, because large number of proposals. I remember the life science NPDF gets almost 2,500 proposals this year, last 2 years, and where the selection level is 10% only. So you have to be very, very competitive. Now, typical mechanism I tried to put you based on my experience when I was in DST. Nowadays, the proposals are received in online mechanism. So for that, you have to register and submit. It goes to the peer review with a domain expert. Then based on the peer review, it goes for the program advisory committee, and then the program advisory committee sometimes asks you for a presentation in person or nowadays in digital format, and then they take a decision. Mostly the proposal up to a certain value, 80 lakhs today, does not go to the larger body. It decides at the program advisory committee level, and it goes on to the larger body board. It's here at the board for information, and then you receive support to implement that program. They then intimate you for some document like what you call quotations and other things, and the transfer of funds happens. A midterm review happens for all the projects to evaluate the progress of the project. Now, my sincere request, especially to the young researcher, that we make a habit to visit web portals for these major funding bodies time to time. Almost once in a week, we should visit and see what are the new programs, new schemes, or new announcements they have made it. And accordingly, you decide whether it is relevant for you or whether it is relevant for others. Even if it is not relevant for you, if it is relevant for your colleague, you must make a habit to intimate you, hey, there is a scheme announced for you. Why don't you look at it? So that culture will help you to build a very congenial atmosphere among the researchers in the university setup. And I hope that if we can build that culture among ourselves, that goes a long way to get a benefit out of the various agencies. So with this, I make a thank to everybody who have listened, and now I will go to the chat box, or you can tell me any questions you have in your mind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was such an engrossing and interesting session. I am sure that all the participants have been enriched from your deliberation today, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, we have now with us our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor S.P. Singh, sir. Professor S.P. Singh, sir, is a well-known academician and administrator having dynamic and enterprising personality with more than 29 years of experience in teaching and research and academic administration in institutions of reputed across the nation. Professor Singh has an experience of working with various institutions of repute like Department of Geology, University of Lucknow, Training and Orientation Center, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, MIT Education Group. Professor Singh was the founder director of Royal Group of Institutions, Guwahati. Professor Singh was also Vice Chancellor of MIT University of Raipur before joining as Vice Chancellor of the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati. Sir, I would like to request you to share a few words with us, sir. Over to you, sir. Sir. Sir.
Mrs. Sir, are you here? I was here, but maybe sir is busy with something. So one thing,
maybe.
Oh, he has left, I think. No, sir is here. Sir, good morning, sir. Mrs. Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir. Mrs. Sir is unmuted actually.
Yes.
Okay. One thing you do, Vimalendra sir, let Mrs. Sir come back. You can ask our chairperson academic, sir, before question. Yes, sir. Sir, please.
Sir, I missed the last part because of some technical problems, but then I can hear you again.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. So you can, yeah. Vimalendra will continue.
We are pleased to welcome Professor Alok Kumar Buragohai, Chairperson Academics, Royal Global University, to this webinar, sir.
Hello.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Welcome, sir.
Yes.
Professor Alok Kumar Buragohai was the founder, head of the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, and registrar at Tezpur University, Assam. He has also served as the Vice Chancellor of Dibrugarh University, Assam. Professor Buragohai is also the founder of the ONGC-sponsored Center of Petroleum Biotechnology in the Dibrugarh University. Professor Buragohai has an extensive experience of over 4 decades in research and teaching. Sir, I would like to request you, sir, to share a few words with us, sir.
Thank you, Vimalendra. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. I put on record my personal sincere thanks, and also on behalf of the Royal Global University, our gratitude and thanks to Dr. Mukhopadhyay for his very beautiful and brilliant presentation this morning. I am sure, especially our young faculty members and researchers, PhD scholars at the end of their research, they will be benefiting from the information that has been shared, especially the different funding agencies that they can explore, and more importantly, the way a research project is to be developed, the novelty, the rationale, the different kinds of research proposals. These are all very important issues that need to be understood before one embarks upon developing a project proposal. And for a newly developing nascent university like Royal Global University, and also because it is a private university, the challenge is much more. And I think this kind of deliberations definitely would enable our faculty members and our young researchers to develop research project proposals on which this university, and as personally, I am as a chairperson academic of this university, is greatly emphasizing on the faculty members that we must develop research proposals doable, feasible, acceptable, and which must have some social applicational value. So the discussion was very meaningful, I'm sure. I missed a little bit of it in between because of the technical difficulties, but then I think by and large, I have been privy to the whole discussion. And also, I was very privileged, Professor Mukhopadhyay. I do not know whether you remember or not, but now I can recall. I think when I was in Tezpur University, I met you on, I think, more than one occasions. I think during some feast meetings or some other DBT meeting, I don't know. But I do remember looking at you that I met you. Yes, so it is nice seeing you again, sir, after a long time.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you once again. Thank you very much. We will be approaching you. We'll be approaching you again at an individual level for any kind of assistance and support in enabling our faculty members to take root in the domain of research in this new university.
Yeah, I'll be happy, sir, to help you out, because as I said, apart from my IIT Delhi, which is my alma mater, I'm associated. I'm also associated with.
So I also extend my thanks to Professor Dr. Mukhopadhyay, Professor S.P. Singh this side.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you so much. And I was there for some time. Another webinar parallel is going on. I'm attending two at a time. So I may be excused, and it was really lovely listening to you. And I'm very sure that my faculty members will definitely be getting benefited from this. And we, end of the day, university will get a lot of benefit out of this, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Professor Mukhopadhyay, I was asking you.
MAT Education Group in 2013 and joined as the Senior Vice President Academic of the group and was responsible for functioning of 6 MAT campuses situated in different parts of the country and abroad. He also served as the founder Vice Chancellor of MAT University at India for almost 2 years before joining the Assam Royal Global University in November 2015 as the founder Vice Chancellor. With the vision and output of Professor Singh, the university has been ranked the #1 private university of Assam by Education World within just the span of 3 years. With more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, academic administration, in institutional research.
Actually, this is actually that
is twice to have been associated with Professor Singh.
Professor, please mute.
No. You mute this is audio. You are the host, no? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Now you can continue, Vimalendu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I would like to request Professor Dr. Ranikumar Datta sir to share a few words with us. Over to you, sir. Sir, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I extend my heartiest thanks and gratitude to Professor Mukhopadhyay sir for his excellent deliberation. and he highlights a lot of important things in regards to the research project and research funding. And one of my questions to Professor Mukhopadhyay sir, we the academicians submit lot of research projects to different funding agencies, but most of the times our projects have become unsuccessful. And what is the reason behind it? It is because of the constraint of fund, or it is because of the research project is not up to the mark to attain the goals of the funding agency. And what is your opinion, Mukhopadhyay sir?
Can I answer, sir? Yes. See, as I said in my deliberation, that today the horizontal growth of the researcher has happened because of the efforts taken by the agencies, I think 2010 onwards. Earlier it was few elite institutions who used to get the support to a large chunk of funds. Now that is not happening to a large extent. Many small universities are coming up to receive the fund. So there is a growth happened horizontally in terms of researcher, which is very important for the country like India. Now, having said that, the proposal earlier, any particular scheme, say basic research, SERB basic research scheme, used to get a success rate of 35, 33, one-third gets success, two-thirds gets rejected. But that success rate has come down drastically. That success rate has come down from 30%, 33% to 10, 15%. Average, I'm talking about across most of the programs things. Therefore, the competition has increased. Now, DST or DBT or DRDO would be happy if they can support each and every people, but then there is a question of quality. And the question of, next question is the availability of the resources. So having constraints on the two aspects, the quality and the resources to the agencies, the success rate, they have to throttle it to 10-15%. And because of the 10-15%, the proposals request very, very strong error-free when somebody submits. So I should again tell everybody that we have an innovation that private institutions will not get the support. See, another thing private institutions which need to do, which I'm talking my other two private institutions where I'm associated, that any central fund they need to receive, they need to have 12B approval from the UGC, apart from DSIR certification from the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research. Because DSIR certification makes you an age that you are a certified research institution, also helps you to import an equipment at a lesser price. Parallelly, UGC 12B also helps you to receive some of the central agencies. Of course, DST, DBT may not make that problem today, but sooner or later they will also create problems. So if you do not have the 12B today or DSI custom duty waiver certification, go for that as a first stage of your research to help build the research culture in the university. Therefore, there is no question of any kind of looseness into the proposal which can be used earlier days. So one needs to be very, very careful. Secondly, I suggest, since the faculty members are very new, they just have joined from their PhD, they need to be also required mentored. Mentored in the sense, the editing of a proposal. When a proposal goes out of the institutions to a funding agency, you need to see whether the proposal whether the proposal has all the basic elements in terms of English language. So that is very, you don't say the concept change, you only see the overall structure of the proposal when some young faculty puts it to the funding agency. That's very important for a newer institution like this. I think, sir, you or our senior can work as a mentor to the junior faculty member to that extent, sir, which makes you more successful at the end of the day, sir.
Thank you very much, Mukhopadhyay sir. Thank you. But I have another questions to you.
Right, sir.
That in different fields, whether it is medical science, bioscience, engineering, or basic science, or social science, with lot of brilliant academicians in India are seriously engaged in research work. And we are getting also a lot of funds from the different funding agencies. But still, most of the times we have found that our research work is not up to the mark in order to get the suppose international recognition and so on. For example, say that University of California, USA, they have produced suppose 72 Nobel laureates. But in India, after 100 years of existence of an university, we cannot expect a Nobel laureate from our university. What is the technical reason behind it, in your opinion?
Actually, to me, there is no technicality in getting the Nobel laureate, because anything you consider, any award you consider, there are a lot of things are inside. So beyond technicality, beyond scientific capability, there are a lot of other things are being played. So maybe something else, or maybe we are yet to make our mark into the international arena. But we are today respected as a good researcher across the globe. India today considers a good research destination, as it was not there a few years before, but today we are respected in terms of scientific research. So maybe I am also still hoping, sir, that we will get a Nobel Prize.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Days to come.
I think that this webinar is a very much useful, particularly for our young faculty members, young research workers. And I also extend my thanks and gratitude to Dr. Anuradha Devi, and really taking lots of pains and lots of endeavor to build up the mathematics department of the Royal Global University in a very progressive way. And thank you very much. And she is very active in teaching, research, extension work, community work. Really, we are proud of her.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that as far as the research fund activity are concerned, really it is very much useful for our publication with the collaboration of the global people and the experts, and it will enhance our academic career. And moreover, with the fund, lot of fund, we can enrich our laboratory or equipment, and we can go to the foreign country in order to collaborate research work. And therefore, research funding is very much essential to enhance the research activities in India, and how to apply for the research grant. And this kind of webinar is very much useful. And thank you very much to Professor Mukhopadhyay. Thank you very much to the Mathematics Department of Royal Global University.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Sir, we have few questions from participants. Shall I?
Tell me. Yeah, unmute them.
Okay, sir, one question they have written in the chat box, that if the first question is, if I have written a research paper on something and then I want it to turn into a product, what are the steps I should follow?
Okay. Suppose you have already published the research into your some kind of journal. I think there is a time limit before time limit or making it with patent, because when you are talking about a product, you should first go for the patent of that particular research. And there is a time limit between the publication in a journal and the patent to file. So if you have exceeded that time limit, you are not allowed to submit a patent or file a patent. So please be careful. The preferred approach would be first you file a patent and then you publish. If you have not done that, if you are still within the time limit, file a patent. That protects your research. And then once you file a patent, then you use some of the schemes, which is Technology Development Program of DST for device development or something, and submit the research proposals there to further fine tune it. But in a product, you should go for patent first before you divulge your idea. Even today, idea patent is also possible. Idea patent is also possible because that is crucial for a product. It is not a basic research that anybody can do it, and publication is only gold in such cases. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
There is another one for DST Women Scientists.
Yeah.
Women Scientist scheme. Career break is required. Is there any option for that if don't have career break? Is it?
See, that's why I said because Kiran is a program in which they have packaged all the women exclusive program, women WSA, B, C, and all these things. When they formulate, I think around 2000, these women scientists WSA, B, and C, there they have put a clause that career break, I think 2 years or so, should be eligible to apply. That they still maintain. Basically, the idea is to bring back the people who are diverted from the mainstream to come back into the mainstream. So this is one in the DSP. The another woman related, I think ICMR fellowship or research proposal also support ICMR. So look at that ICMR in case you do not have the career break and still wants to apply for women exclusivity, you can take the ICMR some research proposal, some RA or something, you can do that. Or NPDF. NPDF doesn't have anything of that sort, so you can apply the NPDF. But if you are targeting women scientists, you need to have 2 years or something the research career break. So that is a mandate of the scheme.
Thank you, sir. So within 5 minutes, we'll conclude. If any participants want to ask any question, they can interact directly, unmute, and can interact directly with sir. Is there anyone?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, you're audible, please.
Sir, yeah. My name is Dr. Suchishmita Bhattacharjee, and I'm a NPDF of DST SERB, sir. But before applying for National Postdoc Fellowship, sir, I applied for women scientists. But the career breakage is important. But may I know what is the criteria for career breakage? Because 6 months after I completed my PhD, after 6 months I have applied for a women scientist, but they rejected it. So, sir, may I know what is the criteria? They didn't mention in the mail also. Nowhere it has been mentioned. And what is the what is the criteria for career breakage?
Not the criteria. What is the clear years for a career break they consider? I think they consider a 2 years break in your career for whatever reason. Maybe a social reason, maybe a reason for rearing of your children, Maybe any reason they consider, but minimum I think 2 years they consider for career break.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And finally you got into the NPDA because they didn't reject you based on your proposal or the concept. They reject you for the mandate of the scheme. Mandate of the scheme.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll take one more question. One more. Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone from participant?
So I like to ask a question actually. For pure science, like pure mathematics and pure mathematics and applied mathematics, of course, you can get a lot of grants from different agents. But for pure mathematics, which is the funding agencies which is approach? Pure mathematics, like algebra and analysis, all those. Yeah.
See, mathematics, whether it is pure or impure, applied. Okay. So mathematics, basic mathematics group are not applying to a large extent. Very, very skeptical because they don't need to a large fund. They don't need to a large fund, except some statistics group. For them, there is a scheme SERB has started few years before called Matrix. I have mentioned.
Yes.
Matrix provides you a very small support, 2.5 lakhs, 3 lakhs support to continue your research activity for a mathematics person. So you can start it. It's announced sometime in the year, every year, and you can apply, or your student can, your faculty can apply. It's a good scheme. And it competes within the mathematics people mostly, and some of the physicists or chemists who applies mathematics into their problem can also apply.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Burwa wants to say something.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Burwa sir wants to say something, I think, because
Actually, I have already said in the beginning, and then, well, this particular lecture was really very nice and very informative, and it will be of help to the new researchers in our university. Although it is a private one, and actually, when Professor Buragoy referred, he has actually met Dr. Mukhopadhyay. You see, it was an occasion regarding certain funding, etc., with reference to all universities of the Northeast. So, I was the representative from Guwahati University.
Yeah.
And then, as reference actually, I said that we visited too many universities. It is one of those visits to Tezpur University when Professor Buragoy was there. So, you might have met him there in that meeting. So, I would like to just say only these few words. If any applicant while applying for a research grant gets any problem, please contact Dr. Mukhopadhyay and he will definitely guide what to do and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me affirm that, yes, I am available. Either you can connect me to Professor Burwa or Professor Untitled Madam, or you can mail directly to me. Mail me, and I will definitely try to help you or try to find out the solution if it is within my reach. Okay. So, but the young researchers do not get disheartened. Life is struggleful. So one rejection or two rejections should not disappoint you or distract from the mainstream of the research. And the senior mentors like Professor Burwa or Professor Badra should be available to mentor in the research area itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll conclude. It is my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this webinar such a resounding success. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.P. Singh sir, and Chairperson Academics, Professor Alakumar Buragohai sir, for their kind words. I would like to thank our distinguished invited speaker, Dr. Amalesh Mukhopadhyay sir, for his excellent presentation on the topic and making this webinar interesting, informative, and meaningful. I would like to express my profound gratitude to our Dean, Royal School of Applied and Pure Sciences, Professor Dr. Anuradha Devi, Professor Emeritus Kumar Purva sir, and also like to thank all the faculty members of the department. I especially thank members of IT department for uninterrupted technical support. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants for actively taking part in this webinar. With this, we conclude our webinar. Thank you all and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mukhopadhyay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.